Good evening, one and all. We welcome you to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2022, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 75 years of independence, UN Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. So before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
The blessings of Almighty. We shall continue to today's session. Today we are commemorating International Day of Clean Air and International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies. Joint efforts needed to tackle air pollution and driving climate change and affecting action. And apart from that, we have other national commemorations. So we will see each one by one. So today, we are commemorating International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies with the theme, The Air We Share. Air pollution is one of the biggest environmental threats to the human health alongside climate change. It is also responsible for 500,000 premature deaths in the WHO European region per year, primarily due to non-communicable diseases such as ischemic heart disease, stroke, lung cancer, and chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. On this International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies, on 7th September, WHO, Europe, and rest of the world recognize the value of air we share, the need for concerted cooperative effort to tackle the persisting burden of air pollution that is driving climate change and damaging people's health. So air pollution can affect human health directly through exposure to pollutants such as particulate matter, in short known as PM, but it also has a climate impact, as some air pollutants are short-lived climate pollutants. Combustion of fossil fuels and biomass to generate energy is greatest contributor to the air pollution and the source of emissions of greenhouse gases. Reduction or phase out of fossil and biomass fuel combustion will reduce emissions of both greenhouse gases and health relevant air pollutants. So this will improve air quality for better health and enhance climate change mitigation efforts, which will further protect health in the long term. Providing an annual assessment of the interacting impact of air pollution and climate change, the World Meteorological Organization WMO has published its 2022 Air Quality and Climate Bulletin, focusing this year on the impact that the wildfire smoke has had on air quality by producing widespread increases in the PM levels, which are harmful to health. So while air pollution is driving climate change is also causing deterior- deteriorating air quality. We are seeing an increase in the frequency, intensity, and duration of heat waves that are causing more wildfires, which are severely impacting air quality in almost all the world regions. As mentioned by Dr. Joy Shukme Guillemot of the World Health Organization and World Meteorological Organization Joint Climate and Health Office. So the amplifying interaction between air pollution and the climate change is imposing an additional climate penalty on hundreds of millions of people globally. This also refers to how climate change will exacerbate ground level ozone pollution episodes that also have a detrimental impact on people's health. 1 year ago, the World Health Global Air Quality Guidelines, in short AQGs, were launched as a tool to provide robust evidence informed guidance to protect public health from air pollution and to support climate action. Almost all efforts to improve air quality can enhance climate change mitigation, and climate change mitigation efforts can, in turn, improve air quality for the benefit of public health. This year theme of the air we share focuses on the transboundary nature of air pollution, stressing the need for the collective accountability and action. It also highlights the need for immediate and strategic international and regional cooperation for more efficient implementation of the mitigation policies to tackle air pollution. The transboundary nature of air pollution is already part of WHO's work with other United Nations bodies such as United Nations Economic Commission and member states, the Joint Task Force on Health Experts of Air Pollution within the Convention of Long Range Transboundary Air Pollution to assess the health effects on such pollution and to provide supporting documentation works to quantify how long range transboundary air pollution affects human health. This well established intersectorial platform helps define priorities to guide future monitoring and abatement strategies. It also advises on monitoring and modeling activities to improve quality of assessments. The updated air quality guidelines provide recommendations on air quality guideline levels as well as interim targets for six pollutants: particulate matter 2 to 5 and particulate matter 10, ozone O2, O3, nitrogen dioxide NO2, sulfur dioxide SO2, and carbon monoxide CO. All the recommendations are not legally binding. They can be used as an evidence-informed reference tool to help decision makers in setting legally binding standards and goals for air quality management at the international, national, and local levels. Achieving the recommendations, AQG levels will deliver substantial health. benefits globally. Around 80% of the deaths attributed to particulate matter 2 to 5 exposure in the world could be avoided if countries attain the annual air quality guidelines level for particulate matter 2 to 5, recognizing the role that the air quality guidelines can play in tackling the global burden of both air pollution and climate change. The need to reach out to the policymakers around the world, the executive summary of the guidelines and how uh, it is to be implemented, and is also available into translation into 14 languages with Chinese, Romanian, and Serbian versions, along with other languages. So the theme, this year's theme, the air we share, focus on the transboundary nature of air pollution, stressing the need for collective accountability and action. It also highlights the need for immediate strategic international and regional cooperation for effective implementation of mitigation of policies, actions to tackle air pollution. We all breathe the same air, and one atmospheric protects and sustains us all. Pollution is a global problem that we must act together to combat the air we share. Let's watch a short video.
Air pollution. It lurks all around us, preying on the young and old. It slips unnoticed past your defenses and assaults your lungs, heart, and brain. Its deadliest weapons are invisible, poisonous particles that can be as small as a molecule. With every breath, they break through your lungs' protective barriers. There, they trigger inflammation as your system tries desperately to fight back. But these tiny intruders penetrate those defenses, lodging toxic compounds even deeper, sowing the seeds of cancer. They slide straight into your bloodstream, sabotaging your entire body. They inflame and constrict your blood vessels, increasing blood pressure until, one day, causing a stroke. The particle prowlers dislodge fatty plaque that may have built up from your diet. They weave clots that can be deadly blockers of blood flow to your heart or brain. With each new case of heart attack, stroke, lung disease, or cancer, air pollution adds another life to its hit list. Let's stop this invisible killer.
This short video, we can see how the air pollution is impacting our health. So when we look at this pollution, there is a twofold problem. First is health impact, and the second thing is climate impact. So health impact, as we have seen, tiny invisible particles of pollution penetrate deep into our lungs, bloodstream, and bodies. These pollutants are responsible for about 1/3 of the death strokes in chronic respiratory disease, and lung cancer, as well as 1/4 of deaths from heart attack. Ground level ozone produced from the interaction of many different pollutants in sunlight is also cause of asthma and chronic respiratory illness. Climate impact, short-lived climate pollutants, in short known as SLCPs, are among those pollutants most linked with both health effects and near-term warning of the planet. They persist in the atmosphere for as little as few days to up to a few decades. So reducing them can have almost immediate health and climate change benefits for those living in places where these levels fall. So preventing and reducing air pollution to improve air quality is the single greatest environmental uh, strategy, because air pollution is the single greatest environmental risk to human health and one of the main avoidable cases and also causes of death and disease globally, with some estimated 6.5 million premature deaths in 2016 across the world attributed to indoor and outdoor air pollution. Particularly, developing countries, air pollution disproportionately affects women, children, and the elderly, especially in low-income population, as they are often exposed to high levels of ambient air pollution and indoor air pollution from cooking and heating with wood fuel and kerosene. Air pollution is a global problem with far-reaching impact owing to its transport over long distances. In the absence of aggressive intervention, the number of premature deaths resulting from ambient air pollution is estimated to be on the track to increase by more than 50% by 2050. Society bears a high cost of air pollution due to negative impact of the economy, work productivity, healthcare costs, and tourism, among others. Hence, the economic benefits of investing in air pollution cannot be oversighted or overestimated, and it must be understood that there is also an economic rationale to act, and the cost effective solutions exist to address air pollution. Poor air quality is a challenge in the context of sustainable development for all countries, in particular in cities and urban areas in developing countries with levels of air pollution that are higher than the limits set out in the World Health Organization air quality guidelines. Some of the air pollutants, such as black carbon, methane, and ground level ozone, are also short-lived climate pollutants and are responsible for significant portion of air pollution related deaths, as well as impacts on the crops and hence food security, so that reduction has also co-benefits for the climate. So International Day of Clean Air for Blue Skies, UN member states recognize the need to sustainably reduce the number of deaths and illness from hazardous chemicals and air, water, and soil pollution and contamination by 2030, as well as to reduce adverse per capita environmental impact of cities, including paying special attention to the air quality and municipal and other waste management by 2030. Clean air is important for the health and day-to-day lives of people, where air pollution is single greatest environment risk to human health and one of the main avoidable causes of death and the disease globally. Air pollution disproportionately affects women and children and older persons and also have a negative impact of ecosystems. Today, international community acknowledges that improving air quality can enhance climate change mitigation, and the climate change mitigation efforts can improve air quality. Encouraged by the increasing interest of the international community in clean air and emphasizing the need to make efforts to improve quality of air, including reducing air pollution to protect human health. On the General Assembly decided to designate 7th September as the International Day of Air for Blue Skies. So in the outcome document of the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development entitled The Future We Want, countries committed to promoting sustainable development policies that support naturally also the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which outlines a roadmap to achieving sustainable development, environmental, environmental protection, and prosperity for all, recognizes that air pollution abatement is important to the attainment of the sustainable development goals. So, with this, we shall end the commemoration for this topic, and we will move on to other observances today. Today is International Pool Pro Day. Fluidra's International Pool Pro Day takes place annually on September 7th. The swimming pool industry is filled with many talented and hardworking individuals. Pool pros are special, so we want to honor and celebrate them on this day. Pool industry professionals are often unrecognized for their work, yet they exemplify all that is great about swimming and spa experiences. So has created Fluidra has created an international pool day to show pool professionals worldwide the appreciation they deserve for their hard work and dedication. It would be wonderful if we could thank our pool professionals on National Pool Service Appreciation Day to give them a special day where we can express our appreciation to, to their hard work. Pools of all spheres and shapes need to be constantly maintained, cleaned, and repaired. Pool maintenance companies are on the call every day of the year to keep pool owners from having to do it themselves. They provide expert advice and safety measures recommendations. The past year and a half have been especially difficult for pool professionals due to supply chain constraints and increasing consumer demand for all things pool related. However, dedicated workers fulfilled their duties and got their jobs done through those challenges. Everyone from pool owners to casual pool owners, even people who have never used or owned a pool, can join together in thanking these outstanding professionals. And celebrating this day was something that everyone at Fluidra wanted to do. So they wanted to share results of the efforts and reward that had hard work that they put in every day. And there's no better way to make people understand your vision and what they stand for them, so that they stand for what focusing on the celebration. That's how International Pool Play Day was created. When it comes to buying a swimming pool or making a swimming pool, many options are available. For people on budget, fiberglass pools are an excellent choice for those who do not need a lot of bells and whistles. When we look at the pool professionals go through extensive training before they can even begin to work on your pool. They have a lot of knowledge about pools and how to take care of them properly. And pool professionals have to know the local news regarding pools and their maintenance to keep their customers happy with their services. And pool professionals have many tools to their disposal when it is time for repairs or maintenance work on your pool. So pool pesticides. So pool professionals are excellent communications because they need to be able to explain things clearly so that everyone understands what needs to be done next. And pool professionals have many tools at their disposal when it is a time for repair or maintenance work on your pool. So with this, we shall end commemoration for this topic, and then we will move on to next commemoration, Global Talent Acquisition Day. So every year, first Wednesday in September, it is celebrated as international holiday, and it was introduced in 2018 by KRT Marketing, a talent acquisition agency offering. It recognizes the contributions of talent acquisition professionals to employers and organizations everywhere. After all, many companies wouldn't have any labor at all without the efforts of talent acquisition agents. They recruit employees with the right skills and qualifications, playing a crucial role in the job settings. Talent acquisition professionals are often overlooked. Their job is to obscure but essentially. Throughout, it's an industry, has grown tremendously in recent years. Talent acquisition is by means no more a new phenomenon. This profession has existed in one form or another for thousands of years. Throughout human history, there has been always a process of identifying and employing skilled workers to meet certain needs. In the past, early forms of talent acquisition were usually led by governments. Empires and kingdoms need competent professionals to act as political advisors, military commanders, government administrators, etc. And this rigorous process, to enter government civil services, citizens had to take serious forms of formal exams. These exams were so difficult that only 1% of the applicants passed. This rigorous process ensures that only the most capable citizens served in the Chinese government and similarly in various other governments. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And yeah, before concluding, like talent acquisition has its own challenges. About 75% of talent acquisition staff say diversity in workplace impacts their talent acquisition process. Only 25% of organizations put gender diversity targets in place as part of talent acquisition strategy. And about 66% of business leaders say that having strategic education programs in their organization helps attract new talent. And by 2030, shortages in human talent will mount to over than 85 million people worldwide, resulting in $8.5 trillion in unrealized annual revenues. About 75% of the talent acquisition professionals say that there is a skill gap with job applications, and that 91% of the managers believe they have, you know, with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And today is also Google Commemoration Day. We celebrate Google Commemoration Day on this day, and we know Google is a search engine created as a research project at Stanford University to locate files on the internet. What differentiates Google from its competitors and keeps it in the pole position among search engines is its page ranking system. This system sorts results according to relevance and helps poor people find answers to virtually everything. Despite its reputation as a premium search engine, Google offers several services such as Google Maps to make life much easier. In fact, Google also produces with the and this system also sorts results according to the relevance and helps people find answers to virtually everything. Despite its reputation as a premium search engine, no, Google offers various services. In fact, Google also provides with several scholarships to support funds towards education. And further details can be found on Scholarly website. Sometime in January of 1996, Stanford University PhD students Sergey Brin and Larry Page began a research project. This project involved creating a search engine. This project would turn out to be the origin of what we know now as Google. That they developed an algorithm tagged PageRank. Its job was to identify the relationship between the websites. It then assigned a relevance value to a site based on the number of links it had to others. This was in contrast with other search engines, and that assigned relevance based on the number of times the search term appeared on the page. Originally called Backrub, they chose the name Google, a misspelling of Google, because it represents the number one followed by 100 zeros. This symbolizes Google's commitment to providing information and the infinite nature of information on the web. In 1997, the domain name for Google was registered on September 15th. With over 1 million raised by the investors, they incorporated in 1998. On September 7th, they set up shop in California, the date becoming Google Commemoration Day. During that period, Google was responding to over 10,000 queries per day. The company grew and moved its base of operations to Palo Alto, California in 1999. They relocated to their current headquarters in Mountain View, California in 2003. At this point, Google was fielding over 3 million search queries per day. The main office, known as Googleplex, is famous for its informal work environment and innovative style. Google expanded over time from the search engine, providing wide range of services like Google Mail, Google Docs, Google Drive, Alpha, and various other services. Alphabet Inc. was created in 2015 as a result of restructuring within the company. The Google becoming the main subsidiary, despite facing criticism on the topics such as privacy issues and search neutrality, there is no denying that the influence of Google in today's digital world. So Google boasts the largest website index in the world with over 3 billion sites. And despite the magnitude of its website index, Google can shift through the index in ease of less than a second. And in 2013, Google was unreachable for about 5 minutes. On August 16th, global internet usage dropped by a staggering 40%. So Google first tweet was, "I am feeling lucky," written in a binary code, starting with its baby steps. And Google launched its image search system with a bang, starting with over 250 million images launched in a big way. So Google makes life easier from Google Sheets to Google Drive and Google Mail. We all use one Google product or other. And what would be the world without Google? Hopefully, we never have to find out. And Google has offices all over the world. There are over 60,000 employees in 40 nations all over the world who work together to make the company what it is today. And it fosters creativity. Google has, always been an advocate of innovation and creativity. Just take the famous Googleplex as an example of the way they revolutionize the it fosters creativity. Google also have been an advocate of innovation and creativity. Just the famous Googleplex is an example of the way they revolutionize work culture. With this, we shall conclude this commemoration and move on to the next commemoration. Today, we are also commemorating Indigenous Literacy Day. This year is an yearly initiative by Australia's Indigenous Literacy Foundation. Through literacy programs, the organization seeks to improve the lives and possibilities of the Indigenous Australians. Not just any literacy program, but one that puts the knowledge and wisdom of the Indigenous people first. So, Australia's first people have a deep knowledge of community, culture, and land. These are concepts of literacy that the Western world may not understand. We must refine what literacy means for different countries, communities, and their needs to create forward thinking spaces without losing the roots. Indigenous literacy advocates people from different. We know that the literacy is the foundation of the better futures. It's the first step for children to build context of and understand the world. Try and think of life without the joy of reading, a world without access to knowledge and inspiration books can bring. Now imagine that the books you do read tell stories that do not resonate with the culture, people, and land around you. For children in remote communities across the world, literacy journeys often look like the choices are limited. One either reads books with alien cultural lenses or has no access to books. A lack of resources occupied with low literacy levels, we can have a long lasting impact on the well being of first Australian communities and across the world. Children, parents, grandparents, everyone can find their love for reading given the right conditions and resources. Indigenous Literary Day, a Literacy Day, aims to make literature and resources accessible to indigenous people in remote areas across the world, and it is an opportunity for the people of our global citizens to shape literacy and make a meaningful and culturally relevant. The goal is to enable the success of individual and indigenous children through quality resources. What kind of resources required? Libraries, books in first languages, and community publishing, among others. Today is a call to support indigenous libraries, books in first languages, and community publishing, among the others. Today, a call to support indigenous communities is leading and owing their journeys to literacy. So there are, that archaeological evidence confirms that across the world, or for that matter, because this is initiated by Australia's Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders are the oldest and continuing civilization on Earth as per their, uh, you know, history. And their origins are diverse, and hundreds of cultural groups, clans, almost dialects and languages exist, especially in a country like India. We have more than 6,000 languages. And in Australia, they have around 600 dialects, 250 languages. The state of affairs today, indigenous people make up approximately 3.3% of Australia's population today, and also varies from nation to nation across the globe. Art forms are indigenous communities are a way for the stories to be passed down through generations. Aboriginals and Torres Strait Islanders in remote areas experience higher child mortality rates and lower literacy levels. So, Indigenous Literacy Day strives for a world of equal opportunities. Everyone has a right to high quality education and joy of learning. And, indigenous pride, but that is cultural pride as well. Today is a celebration of not just education, but cultural pride as well. It can foster a sense of belonging and the pride of communities that have historically been marginalized. Indigenous Literacy Day celebrates rich cultures and so with this we shall conclude this topic here. And today is also National Acorn Squash Day. Acorn squash is also known as pepper squash or Des Moines squash or water squash, that is occasionally considered a summer squash, belonging to the same species as zucchinis and crookneck squash. Its vibrant color and sweet taste make for an appealing carb option, and it's not only delicious but also packed with nutrients. Most fruits always seem to have the balance of satisfying your sweet tooth while supplying your body with bounty of nutrients. The squash is one of the fruits that possess the quality effortlessly. However, today isn't the celebration of just any squash, but Acorn squash is in particular. Acorn squash is an indigenous to North and Central America and was introduced to early European settlers by Native Americans. It is a type of winter squash that belongs to the Curbiteraceae or gourd family, which also includes pumpkin, butternut squash, and zucchini. So the acorn squash resembles an acorn, usually weighs between 1 or 2 pounds, 1 to 2 pounds, and grows between 4 and 7 inches long. It varies in color from dark green to white. However, the most commonly grown varieties are dark green and often have a patch of bright orange towards at the top. Acorn squash has sweet yellow-orange flesh that has a slightly nutty flavor. It can be baked, microwaved, sauteed, or steamed. Some cooks like to stuff it with rice, cheese, or vegetable mixtures. You can also toast the seeds of the acorn squash, much like pumpkin seeds. It is also a good source of dietary fiber and potassium, as well as similar amounts of vitamin C and B, good source of dietary fiber and potassium, as well as smaller amounts of vitamin C and B, magnesium, and manganese. It is also difficult to trace the origins of this celebration, but National Acorn Squash Day is celebrated every September 7th. So this improves eye health. Cup, ha- 1/2 cup serving of the cooked acorn squash contains 9% of your recommended daily dose of vitamin A. So then there is a vitamin A that your body synthesizes from acorn squash, alpha. It is also good for health, providing one of the best possible ratios of heart healthy vitamins to calories and can help reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. And some studies have shown that the best carotene. And even it is better for skin. Some studies have shown that the beta carotene in acorn squash, along with other similar nutrients, can help protect the skin from sun damage and related cancers. And it also helps to regulate the levels of blood sugar in the body, thereby helping to prevent the development of diabetes or maintaining. So it also kicks immunity up to notch. And being a great source of vitamin C, which one of the best ways to boost your immunity system and help stimulate the production of the white blood cells that defend the body from pathogens and other unwanted germs and microbes. So with this, we shall include this commemoration. And today is also National Feel the Love Day. So National Feel the Love Day is celebrated every year in the United States. It doesn't matter what kind of love you are celebrating. It could be with your family, friends, or pets, or romantic partner. National Feel the Love Day is about spreading joys of love as wide as you can. The day sets a reminder of how all kinds of love, makes our lives richer, and love makes. So no matter what kind of love you are celebrating, it could be your family, friends, pets, or a romantic partner. National Feel the Love Day is about spreading the joy of love as wide as it can. So nobody knows when or who can come up, and it is sure a noble concept. We all remember our first brush with our with love, especially of the romantic variety. It is usually experienced early in the life and may not last for very long. Nonetheless, we remember the person or the feeling of joy it brought. Love, especially romantic love, can work as an accelerator. It can regenerate our senses, gives us a new sense of life, and inspire us to be a better people. And it can be richy and rewarding too, in the sense that it teaches us to be empathetic and considerate of others people's needs. Love is also greatest muse to artists, painters, singers, writers, and poets have been inspired by this all encompassing feeling. They have made timeless creations on romantic love, but filial love, platonic love, love for nature, and love for God haven't been left behind either. Almost all creative expressions have been inspired by some form of love. It is only natural to want to talk about the empowering feeling of love in a creative manner. Artists in love have often created the best and most classical creative works. We have so much we owe to love. Added to this love's positive impact on our physical and emotional well-being, love or the feeling of comfort can help elevate our self-esteem, making us feel safe and do wonders for our physical health. The feeling of love is known to keep our hearts healthy, boost our immunity system, and even regulate blood pressure. So it even different acts or expressions like cuddling can cure headaches, and the release of oxytocin during cuddling acts as a painkiller, and it may trigger shortness of breath and chest pains. Uh, when it is in extreme. And there is also reason for love being unreasonable. Lower levels of serotonin and higher levels of cortisol affect our mood and decision making. Some people are unable to feel the love. This condition is called hypopituitarism. The chances of finding love are low. Only one out of every 562 people you meet. So this is as per a research conducted. So love not only makes feel as understood and accepted, but it is also important for our physical and emotional well-being. We love National uh, Feel the Love Day because the day is dedicated to making our lives better. And all our success mean nothing without loved ones. And this day reminds us of the small joys of our life and love from all people who make our lives so much better. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration, and then we'll move on to another commemoration, National First Day of Peel Season. So this commemoration celebrates healthy skin. The beginning of the fall is the best time for skin peeling, deep exfoliation treatments. It is just because less sun exposure to worry about, making the season safer for stronger enzyme peels and chemical peels. These treatments exfoliate away the weathered layers of summer skin to reveal that enviable autumn glow. This season also comes before the harsh winter months when the skin becomes too dry or compromised for a peel. Peel season marks the time of renewal and positive change of our skin. The history of skin beauty treatments goes back to ancient Egypt. As per Western context, the use of black holy eyeliner and eye shades in the dark colors such as blue, red, and black are common. These practices were commonly recorded and represented in Egyptian art as well as in their hieroglyphs. In Japan, geishas use sticks to Winstook wax as a makeup base. Sometimes geishas would also use board droppings to create a lighter color. In the 16th century, women in Europe would bleed themselves to achieve pale skin was a standard of beauty at the time. Some accounts say that Spanish prostitutes wore pink makeup to contrast their pale skin. The Middle Ages saw the use of cosmetics continue where the face was made pale and cheeks were made red. As far as skin peeling is concerned, ancient Egyptians would scrape their skin with alabaster, a soft white stone. They followed up with tropical solutions made with oils, acids, and salt. The Romanians and Greeks began with the pumice stone and resin and then graduated to sulfur for intense results. Gypsy populations created the deep chemical peel. Their early experimenting made way for phenol peel, a medical grade resurfacing treatment that sometimes requires a general anesthetic. It wasn't in the it was in the 19th century that skin peeling became popular. It was due to sharp increase in experimentation led by Austrian dermatologist Ferdinand Ebra, founder of the Vienna School of Dermatology. He tried various processes, finding scary experiments with lime and nitric acid. Before the tincture, a combination of chemicals with alcohol became the popular prototype of the modern chemical peel. Skin peels today are highly refined with absorption rates, penetration, and after effects continuing to improve. The organic efforts. So when we look into other interesting facts, peels aren't risk-free. Peels can cause side effects like scarring, infection, change in skin color, and organ damage. And skin makes up approximately 15% of total body weight. So skin is also comparatively heavy and a self-renewing organ. The skin renews itself every 28 days and sheds about 9 pounds of dead skin cells yearly. And the skin is the body's largest organ, and there are about 300 sweat glands per square inch of skin. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. Today is also National Grateful Patient Day. It serves the best day to show our healthcare workers the appreciation they deserve. The day is also focused on the families and caregivers of anyone receiving life-giving medical care. And additionally, they encourages patients who are grateful to be alive. Healthcare professionals have been there as long as the medicine has, and we can revert, try to. So healthcare workers go and above beyond from our sake, and although we often overlook it, they are one of the most essential uh, parts of our community at large. They aren't really isn't a lot we say or do reward that save lives, care, treatment they give to us. However, a day like this gives us an opening to at least try life-giving care, especially impacts the caregivers and patients in an irreplaceable way. The Grateful Patient Project is a non-profit organization that was founded by NFL kicker and Man of the Year, Rolf Benerche, in 2017. It provides a platform for patients to share their stories, gratitude for the healthcare providers, medicines, procedures, and institutions that support them through illness and changed lives. Today also marks National Neither Snow Nor Rain Day. So this is a special day for us to say a little thank you to our postal social workers. They keep round the clock 24 by 7, doing one or other activities to ensure that our parcels reach the. The seemingly strange name for the day comes from an official motto of the United States Postal Service: neither snow nor rain, nor heat nor gloom of the night stays these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. So, postal workers and post offices have an even longer history across the world. Benjamin Franklin became the first postmaster general in 1775. In 1847, the first postage stamps were issued, and in 1863, during the Civil War, free city delivery began. Yeah, if you have any queries, you can unmute yourself and ask, or you can put in chat box. And these postal workers are Yeah, it creates an opportunity to give back these dedicated workers, be in gift or kind. If you need a way to give back to the integral members of the community, just an opportunity to say thank you. And it's a perfect day to do so. With this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And then we are also commemorating today National Hampshire Day. It is observed by the residents of New Hampshire in the United States. This day recognizes New Hampshire becoming the ninth state to join Union and also known as Granite State. Its epitome of New England in many ways. The New Hampshire is famous for its breathtaking landscapes, fascinating history, and hospitable people. The motto of the state is Live Free or Die, coined by the revolutionary hero John Stark. So it is a day, is a celebration of the state's wonderful culture, history, and people. And it is one of the 13 colonies that rebelled against British colonialism during American Revolution. And the economic and social life in New Hampshire had much to do with sawmills, shipyards, and merchant warehouses. Villages and town centers quickly sprung up in the region. Wealthy merchants invested in the capital, in the trade and land speculation, and there also developed a class of laborers, mariners, and slaves. The only battle fought in the New Hampshire was a raid of Fort William and Mary on December 14, 1774. The battle was fought with gunpowder, small arms, and cannon for 2 nights. According to the legend, the gunpowder was later used as at the Battle of Bunker Hill after several New Hampshire patriots stored the powder in their homes until it was transported elsewhere for use in revolutionary duties. During the raid, the British soldiers fired upon the revolutionaries with cannons and muskets. There were no casualties, but they were among the first shots fired in the American Revolutionary period. The New Hampshire ratified the Constitution on June 21st, 1788. It was also on the day that New Hampshire became the 99th state to join the Union. So New Hampshire boasts of forests, mountains, and beaches. And, there is store for everyone. Celebrate National Day with this beautiful state. And for that matter, across the globe, we have a lot of cultural diversity, mountains, beaches, forest. We need to embrace our own local cultures along with, visiting different places that will give us how these conservation measures are taking place along with promoting tourism and is a very good economic boost for the nations. And Hampshire is also, very well known for its culinary treats, known for its apple cider donuts, venison, clam chowder, and many more. So with this, we can conclude this commemoration. And today is also Superhuman Day. Superhuman Day honors people with disabilities who face and overcome the challenges, disgrace, and dishonor that they experience. Did you know that everybody is likely to experience some kind of disability at some point in time? This is why this day also honors and recognizes hundreds of athletes, musicians, entrepreneurs, educationalists, and individuals who have proved themselves regardless of what society labels them as. So superhumans, and we are not talking about the ones with high-tech weapons in their metal suits or with the power to spin webs with their hands. live among us. We are talking about people who have disabilities, people with disabilities, and who, with their hard work and persistence, navigated through tough world. Superhuman Day was first celebrated in 2016. A media company, Channel 4, came up with an extraordinary idea to highlight the extraordinary athletes at the Summer Paralympic Games. During the Paralympics in 2016, Channel 4 decided to run a campaign that acknowledged these underrated superhumans and their amazing achievements. Although the Paralympics started in 1948, people did not give it as much as attention they did to the Olympics. So they changed the so they to change this mindset, Channel 4 started an ad campaign called We Are the Superhumans. And the campaigns presented 140 disabled people who were facing and trying to change the attitude of society towards them. This is what this day is all about, to move away from and eradicate the stigma that is forced upon the people with disabilities and treat them equally. Support those with disabilities in any way you can and do everything in your power to help them live peacefully in the amazing world. Moreover, anyone who faces and overcomes the challenges that they face in their lives uh, is a superhuman. So put yourself on the back and go conquer the world. And World War II veterans with spinal injuries compete in the stroke Mandeville Games, that is known as wheelchair games in 1948. The first Paralympics are officially established and are open to people from around the world in 1960s. And in Paralympics are getting bigger and bigger with 1,600 athletes from 40 countries attending the Paralympics. And Channel 4, as already discussed, creates a campaign called We Are the Superhumans to highlight the Paralympics in 2016. Now, what is Paralympics? Paralympics is derived from the Greek preposition para, meaning alongside. It's the meaning that Paralympics are the parallel Olympic games to the Olympics. Now, what are the different groups or categories in Paralympics? They are impaired muscle power, impaired passive range of movement, limb deficiency, leg length difference, short stature, hypotonia, ataxia, ethetosis, vision impairment, and intellectual impairment. So the next Paralympics will take place in 2024 in Paris. So we can encourage and empower. If you know someone who is disabled, you need to encourage them for their amazing achievements. Empower them to do amazing things, do everything to acknowledge their superpowers. And you would be amazed to find out about many amazing superhumans who are navigating this world. Learn about the people who have not let their disabilities hold them back. And the day is also a reminder to set calendar to view the Paralympics, watch and witness heights that people can reach when they do not let their perceived stigmas hold them down. And 15% of the world's population, that is 33 million children and 720 million adults, live with a disability. And not all disabilities are due to accidents. Only 9% of the disabilities are caused by accidents. The rest are due to natural causes or other reasons. And only 9% of disabilities are, the number need to increase. Only 30% of the workforce is covered by the employer provided disability insurance. So the sad fact that about unemployment, only 25% of the working age adults with disabilities are employed. And assistance is not always needed. Although anyone may offer assistance, most people with a disability prefer to be responsible for themselves. And we are all the same. People with disabilities go to school, get married, work, cry, laugh, dream, and do everything everyone else does. So we should not let our stigmas and prejudices hold them back. It highlights the Paralympics. And one wonderful thing we can take home from the Superhuman Day is that people with disabilities preferred to be treated the same way. We should not see them as incapable. With this, we shall conclude the commemoration of Superhuman Day. And we have this World Decision Awareness Day. So World Decision Awareness Day is observed every year on September 7th, an initiative by the World Decision organization. This day aims to raise awareness about the Duchenne and Becker muscular dystrophy caused by the mutations in the dystrophin genes. And these are devastating generic conditions that produce symptoms such as learning disabilities, frequent falls, waddling gait, and many more. It significantly impairs one's ability to function normally in their daily life. This day shines a light on what it is, how it affects our lives, and what we can do about it. It also equips us with the right knowledge needed to care for someone suffering from this condition. So when we look at the history, the Duchenne muscular dystrophy, also known as DMD, was named after Dr. Duchenne de Boulogne. This was because he was one of the first to report a case of DMD and went on studied in depth for years after that. In addition to describing the progressive muscle weakness in DMD patients, he also discovered the connection between the muscle and the brain and concurred that DMD also resulted in the impulse and discovered the connection between the muscle and the brain and concurred that DMD also resulted in the impairment of the brain in its patients. It was his findings that brought this information to light for doctors in other countries. Nearly a century later, Dr. Eric Hoffman and Dr. Louis Connell founded that DMD was caused by mutations in the dystrophy genes. Initially, there were only basic care provided for DMD patients, and they have only option upon diagnosis was to ensure that they were loved ones and looked after someone. And and cardiac abnormalities were usually treated when they become symptomatic. But since 2007, an increasing number of individuals have been treated with ACE inhibitors as a preventive measure. The use of ACE inhibitors as a preventive measure is now part of the current standard therapy. DMD is rare but dire genetic disease. And since 2014, September 7th of every year has been dedicated to the awareness of it. World Destiny Awareness Day is observed worldwide to let everyone know DMD is what DMD is and what we can do about it. So there is much to learn when it comes to the what the disease is and how it affects the patient, their caregivers, and loved ones. Take this day to become aware of DMD and its various aspects and help spread this awareness further. And donate to one of many organizations that are set up for the support of DMD patients and their families. You could even volunteer and donate your time and effort by helping organizing, executing events and activities to raise awareness about DMD. And there is a reason behind the date, as already discussed. WDAD's date 7 by 9 stands for the 79 exons in the Duchenne gene, and the protein that is missing in the muscle is missing in the brain as well. Every year, 1 in 5,000 newborn boys has DMD. The red balloon symbol of WAD has been the red balloon since 2014. And the lack of awareness of this is the major factor in the diagnostic delay. So there are innumerable patients and families affected by this disease that face a unique set of challenges every day. Raising awareness about the disease will help improve their lives and generate better help and resources for them. By expanding the reach of awareness campaign, more and more stakeholders are engaged and educated. This creates room for more efficient strategies to be adopted for the disease and to help those that live with it. And a very important objective of this day is to encourage potential patients to adopt those with DMD, those living with and those living with the disease are deserving of love and care as much as anyone else, and the families that have resources to help can change their lives and give them a place to call home. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And today is also Hulk the Dog Day, and it is a famous American pit bull born on September 7, 2013. Hulk's come to fame is a 2015 video posted by his owners, Dark Dynasty Canines, which raked in over 12 million views on YouTube at that time. Hulk is a dog that has won hearts across America, which is the reason for celebrating special day today. Hulk the dog is a 180-pound American Pit Bull Terrier and Bull Terrier cross. As of 2015, Hulk was considered the biggest pit bull that has ever lived. So you can imagine the world shock when they debuted on the YouTube in 2015. Hulk was born on September 7, 2013 in Florida, US. He is brown and white coated, and his parents are Ghostface and Guyana. Hulk was beloved by his breeder's family, Marilyn and Lisa Gren, from the second he was born. He grew up into a fine young dog before marking this debut on December 20, 2013. Hulk weighed 62 pounds at the time. After his debut video, which highlighted his weight at 14 weeks, Hulk was frequently seen on the Dark Dynasty Canines YouTube channel as the family documents his growth. In January 2014, his family tree was analyzed in a separate video, and Hulk's viral video was posted in February 2015 when he was only 17 months old. The video is titled Biggest Bully Pit Bull on Earth. On scale 173, helps 17 months, the Hulk of the decline. The video highlighting Hulk's massive height and weight, and it currently has over 13 million views. Hulk is an exceptional dog. His body is huge, but he has an even bigger heart. Hulk has amazing qualities. He is sweet, calm, and docile. But don't be mistaken, Hulk is a mean killing machine when he needs to be. His greatest dog and has fathered several litters of puppies over the years, and his puppies were priced at dollars 25,000 to 50,000 each. It's a huge price. And he's well trained. From the series of videos posted by his owner, it is apparent that Hulk is well trained and he won't attack unless he is either told to or feels threatened. And Hulk might be ferocious looking, but he is very calm and docile when he needs to be. The owners trust Hulk with their kid, and he has never attacked them. And Hulk stands tall at 6 feet, and he weighs more than average human, which makes him a great cuddle buddy. And he weighed a lot at 17 weeks. At barely 17 weeks old, Hulk weighed a staggering 82 pounds. And the Guianas were certain that the Hulk would grow to become a huge and successful dog. Hulk readily adheres to the commands of the Grenan's son, Jordan. Hulk is a very famous dog, and his personal Instagram account has over 1 million followers. And Hulk is a big eater, consumes about 5 pounds of ground beef every day. And Hulk's head is 28 inches round, being a pit bull's head. And yes, there are several pit bulls over 190 pounds. For instance, Azor from XXL Designer Pit Bulls. And Hulk's parents, the American Pit Bull Terrier and Bull Terrier, are tall and large dogs. So, as we have seen, we are commemorating, we have lots of days, especially dedicated to these canines, these dogs. And in fact, every breed has a day dedicated appreciating these breed qualities. And today, the Pit Bull dog breed, is commemorated on this occasion and is dedicated to the Pit Bull dogs. So with this, we shall conclude this commemoration. And there is one more important day, which also looks at the inflation. Today is also Texas Energy Savings Day. We can learn a lot from this, commemoration. The majority of the Texans are overpaying for their electricity. And with so many complicated plans and bills, many Texans don't even realize it. By staying on the top of their energy contracts and learning how to better understand their bill, Texans have the opportunity to reduce their electrical bills, sometimes massively. Let's see what is causing so much, cost for them, and why they are paying these huge bills, electricity bills. So Texas has an annual energy consumption equal to that of Great Britain and Spain. This is one of the reasons why electricity deregulation in Texas was signed into law in 1999 under Texas Senate Bill 7. The law went into effect in 2002, officially ending the state's regulation and control of electricity supply. The goal was to open the market for electricity providers, to create more competition and give Texas the ability to choose their own provider and plan. Although this move was initially intended to reduce electricity prices for Texans, it has become more apparent in recent years that the deregulation has had the opposite effect. The Texas winter storm of February 2021 was the straw that broke the camel's back. It left millions of Texans without electricity for a full week after the state electric grid operator lost control of the power supply. Many Texans who were not in the fixed rate contract plans were left with astronomical electrical bills. This fueled a debate around whether Texas Energy's deregulation was the cause of this disaster, since local utilities had neglected their facilities and failed to do so in necessary upgrades. So this is the reason that in order for the power of the market to result in most competitive rates, people need to consistently shop around for the best plans. Otherwise, their contracts expire. And once a contract expires, you are automatically placed on a month-to-month plan where providers can charge or change your electricity rate each month. Surprise, these rates are usually much higher than contract rates. The worst part, many people don't even realize that they are being charged higher than the market average, sometimes more than double in the market average. So as we have seen, the electricity deregulation in Texas is signed into law under Texas Senate Bill 7 in 1999. And electricity deregulation in Texas goes into effect, officially ending the state's regulation and control of the electricity supply in 2002. And the winter storm leaves millions of Texans without electricity for a full week after the state's electric grid operator lost control of the power supply because of winter storm in February 2021. And in 2021, Texas Energy Savings Day is established, celebrating for the first time on September 7th to help Texans who might be paying high rates on their electricity and not taking advantage of the fixed plans that deliver renewable energy. As we have seen, the Texans face skyrocketing home energy bills as the state exports more natural gas than ever. The cost of electricity in Texas is tightly tied to the price of natural gas, which has more than doubled since Russia invaded Ukraine in late February 2022. And, to overcome this, there are certain measures like joining a group switching program. This is an answer to finding new savings. It's simple enough and always wise to compare and see if you are overpaying on your electricity bill. Finding competitive rates is time consuming, but it's worth it to get the best deals that are transparent and bring additional financial savings to your pockets. So there is an eligibility. Anyone who lives in the area open to electric choice can participate, meaning if you are in deregulated service area, sign up and tell your friends and family who live in deregulated areas for signing up too. Then when your contract is coming to an end, it is important to shop around for a fixed rate energy plan to ensure you lock in a good rate that won't be subject to fluctuations. And watch various free webinars and virtual information sessions to help you understand your electricity bills. Some providers also offer a side-by-side comparison of their winning rates compared to market average. And turn off lights in rooms that are not in use, make the switch to LED light bulbs, install insulation in your home to keep it warm during winter without need to use too many heating appliances, and cool during the summer. Hang on to your laundry to dry instead of using the dryer, and ease up on the AC. Use it only in the rooms you are in, and check the air filters so that it circulates air easily. And a staggering 4.3 million Texans were left without electricity during the 2021 winter storm. And 80% of the Texans have never switched or switched a long time ago, are now on the plans with expensive variable rates. draining their pockets financially, overpaying an average of $450 a year for their electricity. And deregulation costed Texans billions of dollars. According to the latest data published by Federal Energy Information Administration, in short EIA, deregulation has cost Texans $28 billion since 2004. And if Texas were an independent nation, its electricity market would be the 11th largest in the world. Being one of the largest energy consumers, and average monthly household electricity bill in Texas were the second highest in the US in 2021. So, who doesn't love saving? Shop for a different plan and you can even save around 20 to 25% on electricity bill. Texans who switch can save in average of $700 plus on their electricity bills over 3 years. And signing up for some providers is free. All you need to do is register, sit back and wait to receive your offer. And you are not trying yourself down. If you don't like the offer, you can simply decline. No strings attached. And it's also better for the environment. Even if you just spend the day looking over your electricity bill and seeing whether you can cut down on the cost or write up a plan to take active steps in reducing your energy usage, you will be doing the environment a big favor in the long run. So with this, we shall end this commemoration of Texas Energy Savings Day. And finally, the last commemoration of the day is Onam. Today is Onam festival and celebrating the rice harvest. Onam is one of the major Hindu celebrations along with Vishu and Tiruvatrai in Kerala. Originating in the Indian state of Kerala, the legend goes that King Mahabali brought forth a golden era in his reign over Kerala, God's own country. Despite his ego, he passed a test set forth by the Vishnu, proving his devotion to the people and lands. So he is allowed to visit Kerala again and again every year in this time. And that's how the festival came into existence and became much popular. Onam celebrates Mahabali's annual homecoming through a 10-day festival that includes a variety of traditions such as Valamkali, that is boat races, which are, across very famous, especially the snake boat races across the world, and it invites a lot of, tourists from across the world, and it's really mind-blogging experience to be part enjoying these boat races. And Pulikali, tiger dances, men dress up as tigers and performing dance is one of such a great cultural practice, folk art forms. And Onatalu, that is martial arts, performances and display of these martial arts, and a 9-course vegetarian feast called Onam Sadhya on the last day. Now, this is mouth-watering, delicious feast, vegetarian feast. This festival takes place 10 days before the Tiruonam during the month of Chingam, which typically falls between August and September. So, as we already discussed, it is an harvest festival that comes the King Mahabali. Mahabali was a demon, but renowned for his generosity and good heart. The popularity incited jealousy in the gods, so that they asked Lord Vishnu to help them. As Mahabali was a devout worshipper of Lord Vishnu, the latter aided the gods in their cause, but did not initiate a battle with Mahabali. So Lord Vishnu transfigured into a Brahmin dwarf named Vamana. That is one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu. Vamana Jayanti is also celebrated, and in the coming days, and headed to Mahabali's kingdom with a request to have the right over the property measuring 3 paces. Mahabali obliged and fulfilled the Vamana's wish. The 10 days of Onam are Atam, Chittirai, Chodi, Vishakam, Anisam, Triketa, Moolam, Puradam, Uttarodam, and Tiruvonam. Tiruvonam is the most important day of the festival. Several large events mark this festival. At Pookolam, which is a traditional of designing flowers using colored powder in front of houses. This rangoli, or different kinds of art forms in front of the houses, or even inside the houses, which is decorated by with the flowers, and also powder, colored powders and colored flowers. And Ona Kalikal refers to all the games that are played throughout the festival. These include Talapantul Kali with a bell, and Ambayali or archery, and the Valam Kali boat race, in which 100 boatmen compete using these, snake boats and different boats. And women participate in traditional folk dances, which are among the biggest attractions of the festival. And the dances and synchronized performances are in honor of King Mahabali and his arrival. The elephant procession is the peak of the festival, with decorated elephants parading and dancing with people at the place of procession. And women create carpets of colorful flowers in front of their homes. These designs are called Pookolam. Kolam means these art made by the colorful powder, and because it is also flowers are also used, so it is called Pookolam. Decorating homes, trays prepared for worship, and wearing special outfits on the occasion are part of this festival traditions. The new clothes worn on Onam are called Onakkad and are an important aspect of the holiday. The festival has many sub-events that take place. As we already mentioned, Vallam Kali, Pulikkali, and Pookolam, and Onatappan, Tumbitullai, Onivillu, and Kalachakkula, and Achamayam, and more. Plays and dances are performed at these events. Tirukkarilai, Tumbitullai, Palikulai, and Kathakali. Then the men are dressed up as tigers, and many of these unique performances are witnessed on public events or streets. The Onam Sadhya meal is prepared on the most important day of the festival. Tiruvonam delicacies are cooked and served on large banana leaves. The 9-course meal comprises dishes such as rasam, sambar, rice, and more. Some restaurants offer as many as 30 dishes on the menu for Onam Sadhya. And Onam is celebrated though by Hindus primarily, but non-Hindu communities also celebrate this Onam. And the Onam festival, as it celebrates the arrival of legendary King Mahabali, who is believed to visit Kerala every year. And this is significant to celebrate Onam. And in let's visit early morning on the first day of Onam to temples to offer prayers for King Mahabali arrival and seek blessings, and participate in the procession which is taking place in Tirupanturiya, and following the tradition of leaving food or small items upon reaching your destination is significant, because many believe that it is close to where the demon king left for other world. And make a space, a good zone for the king's arrival. Tidy and clean your home, decorate as elaborately as you can, and create colorful Pookolam flower designs outside your home. And the food prepared during these 10 days of Onam is elaborate, and there's a lot of variety. And the festival is secular, so people from all walks of life join that. And gifts are part of tradition, and it is common to gift something or anything that you like or that can be part of the celebrations to friends and families. And three small figurines are formed with red sand and placed out of homes in this festival. And Onam is a homecoming festival, welcoming festival. The King Mahabali. And Onam is also one of the many beautiful festivals that take place in Asia. It is representation of the rich culture and representation of rich culture of India and its heritage. So with this, we shall conclude all the commemorations. And this month is also candle month, and we discuss what are the issues that are caused due to candle. And today is also clean air, dedicated to air. No? So it is very important now to reduce the candle consumption and also completely avoid burning of candles, which are causing huge pollution to air. So with this, we shall conclude for the day. And thank you everyone for joining us. If you have any queries, you can feel free to share in chat or observation or anything you'd like to share. You can use chat box, or you can raise your hand if you want to speak. Feedback form is being shared in the chat box. Quickly fill up the feedback form. It is mandatory for receiving your certificates. Feedback form has been shared in the chat box. Quickly fill up the feedback form. And we thank you once again, everyone, for joining us, and see you all tomorrow at the same time with different topic. With the same link, you can join. And before leaving the webinar, quickly fill up the feedback form. Take care. Good night. Thank you all for joining us. Hope everyone has filled the feedback form. See you all tomorrow. Take care. Good night. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with a different speaker and topic. Take care. Good night.